What is best way to avoid awkward silence in conversations? In college I had a professor that would play music quietly when we had to form groups with new people. This way when no one was talking it didn't feel like awkward silence. I would recommend this to anyone that has a group of people that are meeting for the first time. Any big plans for the weekend? The old barber special. Look into the distance like you're a sailor contemplating something. And go hum. Actively listening to what the other person is saying and asking them questions is a good place to start. You don't. Silence is a natural part of most conversations because people sometimes need time to collect their thoughts. It's only awkward if you make it out to be. Yell at the top of your lungs to assert dominance over the conversation. I'm not good at this. So when things start to get quiet I find a reason to walk away. I can get past it with people I know well. But it's the only natural point to end a conversation on that's immediately obvious to me. Stare into their eyes without blinking. They'll quickly fill in any gaps in the conversation. Strong eye contact is key. Keep an egg in your pocket or rucksack so that you can bring it out and impress people. Making a joke about the person you are talking to. The best thing would be to judge their appearance. It's nice to sometimes enjoy someone else's presence without worrying about talking their head off. And vice versa, learn to enjoy it. It makes for a much more chill experience. Emo. I have too many acquaintances that never stop talking. Those rare and ephemeral moments of silence are genuinely treasured and enjoyed. Move to Asia. Awkward silence is a very North American thing. Maybe Europe too. But I have never been there. In Asia, you could spend the entire dinner without saying a word. Silence is not considered awkward there. My new go-to conversation starter. So what has your pandemic been like? If it's awkward, there must be a reason why it's awkward. It could be yourself or the person you're around that causes the feeling. Just sit with it. A lot of people are way too uncomfortable with silence and get all anxious that they have to fill dead air. When shutting the F***k up is an option, it should be strongly considered. Sitting in silence isn't all too bad. Like try to think of the scene in Clue when Mrs. Peacock tries to force a conversation. It can be like that. I suggest making a comment on the silence. Or if it's pointed silence, meaning a silent understanding or some kind of subjective bomb dropped. Try to shift the topic. Just constant stream of talking. As soon as something enters your brain, just vomit it out through your word hole. Yeah, silence is golden. We need it to create a healthy relationship. Start miming. Under no circumstance do something nuts like pull out a phone. That's game over. Stare at them directly in their eyes and slowly eat a banana. The silence is no longer the awkward part. Nothing wrong with silence. It's a necessary and natural part of any relaxed conversation. I usually just look around me and breath out and enjoy the moment. Don't think of the silence as awkward. Sometimes silence is necessary and doesn't need to be filled with needless sounds or words. Smoke a shitload of weed with this person to bond forever. Silence and reflection are important. Fart. The louder and longer the fart, the better. Fill those silences with nature's noise. Get comfortable with silence. Silence does not have to be awkward. It can be comforting. To learn to not have to constantly say something. Say, hey, and think of some dumb shit to keep it rolling and fast. Emo. Almost anything at all is better than silence. I usually just try to make them laugh or smile because clearly neither of you have much to say. Anyway, so just make the best of it. Whenever you get an awkward silence, you need to start by mumbling random words quietly. Then when you think of something to say, you gradually start to talk louder. Crack jokes. So instead of silence, it's laughing. And while you're laughing, quickly think of what you want to say after. Just don't stop talking. There can't be an awkward silence if there is no silence. People's favorite topic is themselves. So ask something about them. Or even just an opinion about something. Don't have conversations. Communicate through text chat only. Works for me. I turn up my microphone sensitivity in a Discord call and have everyone hear my keyboard as I type. Most of them will react about 3 to 5 seconds later and break the silence. Do you come to Cloud District often? Oh, what am I saying? This is awkward. Yeah. Then a conversation about lizards form. Ask the person questions about their hobbies, job and family. People tend to enjoy talking to those points. Have a news app on your phone that sends you a notification about the latest event. I have one pop up every morning, and if there's awkward silence, it's always, "Did you hear what's going on today with such and such?" Quote. I also enjoy the read in the morning, which is nice. It's only awkward if you make it awkward. The inability to be comfortable in silence is a sign of a weak mind. Honestly, depends on the situation. Is it work? Is it date? Is it something else? But try to read the room when it comes to people. Keep up the pace in something that's okay for both of you. Too much over-the-top talking just to talk can also be awkward. I honestly don't think it's possible. When you don't know the person that well, those awkward silences are usually inevitable. Unless you have the most charming, eccentric, bubbly personality in the world. Don't start conversations. Then it's just peaceful silence. 1. Just say this is getting awkward. Admit it. Then ask if the other person want to do an awkward pause. 2. Look at something and play that remind me of. Like if there's a tree, just say that we can find the age of trees by counting circles on them, but I have no idea where are the circles on a tree. Do you? Here, knowing the interest of other person helps because then you can pick a topic they'll want to talk about. 2. 3. Or don't say or do anything. It's also good to have a silent atmosphere here and there. Seems like you can handle silence. Sad part of society nowadays, every convo has to be an episode of Friends. Friends is not real life. I play Crazy Frog in the background. That way when it goes, ding ding, I come up with ideas for conversation. If they make a deal out of it, then you say to them, I am comfortable with uncomfortable silences. You speak your sentence, pause for a moment and say, anyway, I am gonna do something, go off topic. Stare intently into their eyes, and move closer, and closer, and closer. I spent a lifetime being the icebreaker. Now I just stay silent and wait to see what personalities come out of folks. If nothing comes out, which is not unusual, I knod and say good to see ya and scant. I'd rather not be portentous. Ask questions with genuine interest. People love to talk about themselves.